series and creator of the YouTube channel FuseBoxx. Welcome to the show, Ben.
Well, thank you so much.
Man, it's really good to meet you. And that was my very first time at attempting to make an intro clip, and I didn't realize that you needed to make it wide. So that was the thing that happened. But we're all learning here. We're all learning.
So, yeah, I noticed you have a producer.
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm giving the old Lollipop Gang a try. You may not be aware of this because we just met. I was in the Marine Corps and spent many drunken nights at the end at Waffle House, and a lot of strippers hang out when the shift's over at Waffle House. And at some point in time, I ran into Lollipop, giving her a try.
Oh, nice.
Yes, yes. She's mostly going to be silent. I did make her small and in the corner, but somehow that got screwed up. So that's a problem for another day. Right now, this is about you, Ben. This is about you. So, Fuselier or Fuselier, that's
You
a
got
French
it.
fuck name, man.
You got it the first time, and that's impressive. Nobody gets it.
Yeah. So you're from New Orleans, right?
Oh, yeah.
Man, what's it like growing up south of sea level?
Well, it's not as glamorous as most people think. I think most people think New Orleans is just nothing but partying, but it's a lot of humidity, broken roads, terrible paying jobs, and yeah, just this place used to be a swamp, and they paved over it, and they don't realize how dumb of an idea that was.
It was a pretty dumb idea. So, according to the Biloxi News, did you know that in South Mississippi they're getting a new Buc-ee's?
Oh wow.
Yeah, is that going to be within driving distance of you?
Probably not for me in particular, just because I'm dealing with weird transportation issues these days.
Ah,
So I've been stuck in town for a while, but I'm working on it.
man, so you're not going to get some of those tasty golden nugs?
I hear a lot of great things about Bucky's, and I've never been, and I need to change that.
Man, I got one about an hour away from me a year ago, and life changing, life changing. It changes you on the scale too, but you only get one life, really. All right, so let's check out who we got going on in the chat. We got old Snugs. Hey, ass man, what's going on, Snugs? You doing all right? Bucky's is awesome. That is very true. That is very true. And of course, we do have Lollipop Gang. And like I said, we're giving her a whirl. We're gonna see how she does. She's my newest DEI hire. We'll see
I
how that
would
works out.
I would love a producer.
Well, you might get one in name only after this. So like I said, well, we will see how it goes. All right, man. So going back to the beginning, you started down the creator path with film school. Is this where you discovered you had the old Sugarfoot, or is that not really part of your glow up story?
The Sugarfoot.
Oh man, the diabetes.
Oh, so no, the diabetes came around when I was 7.
Oh man, that's terrible. Now I feel bad. Lollipop Gang she told me to make that joke.
Why?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that.
Why are women always picking on me?
Right. I hear you, man. I hear you on that. So, film school, man. Tell me about it.
Well, I went in there mostly because I had been dreaming of getting into film since I was like at least 14. I was really into screenwriting, and the funny thing about it is I got into that mainly from video games, specifically RPGs, because I kept envisioning wanting to create movies out of these stories I would play in video games. And back then, video game stories were very bare bones. It's like it's not as they weren't as cinematic as they are today. So
Right.
it was just kind of a fun creative exercise. And then yeah, when I got into college and I got into film school, I found that I gravitated most towards screenwriting and towards acting. And I messed around with, producing. I produced a couple of short films. Only one actually got finished. And then I worked on other films. And then a few years ago, I had I had kind of a strange incident happen where I developed kind of a PTSD connected to cars.
Ah, yes. Is that the bridge incident?
Yes. And so basically it put a halt on a lot of my plans because it was like it limited my ability to travel, and you got to be able to travel if you're going to do film, especially down here, because
Right.
they rarely film anything in the city proper. So I kind of mulled around a bit, and then I found out about the indie comics boom going on during, like, I think around 2017, 2018.
Right.
And like I had been a casual comic reader as a kid, so I kind of figured like, hey, I'd like to give this a shot. And I had an idea in the back of my mind that I was always planning to make into a film series eventually, but the whole thing was, as I got older, I realized how unrealistic it is to be like, well, when I've got billions of dollars, I'll be able to make that, you know.
Right. Well, so actually, I want to go back because according to IMDb, which I'm going to stop right there and say, dude, how fucking cool is it that you have an IMDb page?
I didn't even know I had one until you brought it up. Like that kind of blew my mind.
When you told me that, I had to go check it to see if I had one just in case. That is crazy, man. Yeah, so on your IMDb page, you know, it talked about a few of the short films you worked on. So in 2015, you worked on Tough Love. And then 2016, you worked on The Mouse Problem. And you also did a little short film called BS, Before Social Media.
Yes.
And I just want to play a little clip from that.
Okay.
And so chat, last time I tried to share something, the volume didn't come through. So if I screw this up again, I sure would appreciate people letting me know. All right, so here's a little taste of your acting chops.
Oh lordy.
I've had a face space since I was like 13. I'm sorry, but I can't waste my time with little boys that way. But I totally want to help you out.
Sorry, I couldn't help it over here.
Well, I just happen to love eavesdroppers.
Where the hell did you come from?
I'm Adam, by the way. Oh, you may have seen my buddy Jeff on FaceBoxx.
Oh yeah, I love Jack. He was on my top 10 list back in the MyFace era.
Oh, God.
Dark days.
Nice. That is classic right there.
Hi, I'm Catherine. Do you want to go get some coffee or something?
Absolutely. Oh! Don't forget to add me on your friends list.
Oh my god, thank you. I almost forgot.
Yeah. Well, let's get out of here.
Jonah, I'll call you later.
Come look at that dapper young man.
That's little.
Nice.
Dude, how was that? Like, how was that?
What do you mean?
I mean, dude, you're on film in a movie. That's not
Well-
normal. That's not normal.
Well, the beauty, I happened to write and direct that one, so you know, I was able to cast myself.
I see that. All right, down in the chat, we got Aldous. Greetings and good evening, all. What's going on, Aldous? I hope you're doing well. And Snuggy said I screwed it up again. I certainly hope not. I certainly hope that you all heard that because it was epic. It truly was. All right, so that was a short film about the BS of social media, which of course was filmed 10 years ago, right? And
Oh
so
God, yeah.
how crazy is it that then we smoothly segue into you realizing that you need to gain a social media following in order to grow your social media presence to sell your comic book, so you launch the YouTube channel FuseBoxx.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I wrote that script based on how I felt like the social media craze was just a little too ridiculous. Cuz like in that little skit the other guy is actually more like me in real life, and I decided to play the asshole that steals the girlfriend from myself.
All right, that's a real snuggy move there. That's a real snuggy move there. So, dude, 5 years ago, you realized that you were going to need to start this YouTube channel. You started realizing that you were going to have to grow your, you were going to have to be your own promoter. So, on August 6th, in 2019, you launched your YouTube channel, and you started with kind of like daily vlog style videos, and you did that for a while. And then, if I'm not mistaken, the very first interview that you gave on YouTube, Will from Heroic Studios 3D gave that to you, right?
Yep.
Man,
That
that
is
is
correct.
awesome. That kind of takes you back in time, doesn't it? We're on a little time warp here.
It's strange hearing people who know about me.
Oh, I think it's awesome. I think it's incredibly awesome. So after that, you kind of started editing your videos, same thing, the thing that we're all going through. We start small and we start growing from there. So you started editing your videos, you got into that, and then boom, October 13th, 2022, you landed Chrissy Mayer as one of your guests. How did you do that? Like, tell me this story.
Well, it was that I saw she was coming into town for a comedy show, so I figured like this would be the perfect opportunity to try to get her as a guest on my show. So I went to the show, and I was the weird guy because I came in with like a bag from like of grocery stuff from Conseco's, so she had to make jokes about me on stage. And then at the end of the show, I went up and started, awkwardly trying to chat with her, even though there was some other guy trying to do it too, and I was getting annoyed. But yeah, I managed to be like, "Oh yeah, you want to come on my YouTube channel? Oh yeah, sure. Shoot me an email." And so I did, and she responded, and she came on, and yeah, it was fun.
Dude, that's awesome. Because, yeah, that video got 5,870 views right now. And I'm probably 3 of them. How crazy was it when that happened? Did most of those views come within a few days of each other? Or was that like a slow growth?
Most of my bigger viewed things were kind of slow growth, I would say.
Okay. So there wasn't a moment where like it was blowing up and you were like, holy fuck.
No, I haven't gone viral yet.
Well, I don't know. I might, where I'm sitting, if I had a video with 5,870 views, I would consider it viral for me. But that's just me. So things that I learned from that video was that Fulton Street is a coffee desert, and Chrissy promised to hook you up with a porn star. And I'm wondering how that worked out, because that was a pinky promise, really.
It didn't work out.
Oh,
It did not
Chrissy
happen.
Meyer is full of shit.
It's not right.
Jesus, you need to send an email and let her know that somebody reminded you of a little promise that she hasn't kept yet.
I'm gonna wait for her to come back into town, and I'm gonna confront her personally.
That's too funny. So next, you evolved into streaming video gameplay, and the whole time, from nearly the beginning, you've also been doing streams on the background as far as panel streams with guests and friends. Talk about that a little bit.
Oh yeah, I mean, really, it was just I was trying to find my niche
Right.
because I feel like in many ways I feel like I still haven't really gotten it down yet. I just I wanted to do something a little more casual than most of the streams I had seen. I'd seen a lot of very, like, oh, we have one set topic and all that. And I was like, well, let's just kind of go with the flow.
Right.
But yeah, I did that, and I did the video game streams mostly because it's like, video games are my thing. Like they launched me into storytelling, and I think I'm a little too good at them, so I figured I might as well try to make something out of that.
Right. That so how are those streaming videos? How were they doing? Were you getting good views on those or anything?
No.
I think it's one of those things where I think the people, I mean, yes, you do have some guys who are only video game streamers, but I think the people in our realm, I think they get bigger somewhere else, and then they get a 15% of their audience that'll show up for those kind of streams. That kind of seems to be how it works most of the time, I think.
Yeah, I learned the hard way.
Hey, it's fun though. There's this boy, I wish I could shout him out, but I can't remember. There is a guy, and I'm the only person who ever shows up. He has no audience. He doesn't want an audience, but I just talk to him in the chat when I'm bored, and because he's on all night long, and it is just amazing. We'll look down into the chat. We got Ramen Rockstar. Good evening, chat. What's going on, Ramen Rockstar? All right, so where in the world was I at? Okay, so the grind got to be a little much. You took a short hiatus. You were doing a 9 to 5, and you lost a little weight. And now you're back, man. You are back, and you are a man who's back with a mission. You are here with a goal.
Yes, very much so.
Nice. I like it. And you are, as far as your YouTube channel is concerned, you have relaunched your stream, and you are on really the same mission I am, that we want to get eyes on the indie scene and try to uplift all of these people, because you understand what that grind is like. And anything you can do to help is only going to help, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's mostly that I want to pay it forward because, I mean, a lot of people have had me on their channels to promote Outlaw Nights, and I feel like, it's only fair that I do the same for them.
Oh, that makes all the sense in the world. Because, yes, right now I kind of feel like I'm a beggar, which isn't bad. I like free stuff. But,
welcome to the party.
Sometimes I feel like, oh, why would somebody want to come on my show? And it's like, well, because they understand. They understand that without them, I am nothing. But without the me's of the world, they are nothing. And so we keep growing each other is kind of a back and forth thing,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Awesome, man. Well, let's talk about Outlaw Nights #1. And we need to do this spoiler free because as you were so kind to be a last to fill in this, I had a scheduling issue, and you were so kind as to jump right in here and hook a brother up. I didn't get a chance to get book #1, which, do you have copies still right now, or are those?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. So I do need it to be spoiler free, but this story, it really started its life out as a screenplay, didn't it?
Yes. Outlaw Nights was a movie idea that I had been just playing with in the back of my mind. for at least, God, what's it been, like 15 years? Because I first started thinking of it when I saw the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie in theaters. Because I really loved the first Pirates of the Caribbean, and I thought, like, I'd love to have this, I guess, this kind of pirate romanticism, but done in a cool, modern, high tech way, where it's like, you could have way more fun with the battle scenes than just cutlasses and one shot pistols.
Right. No, I think that's amazing, and I am head over heels for space operas, and yours, from everything I've been able to find out about your world and everything, it's the universe you built is it's almost set up like the Old West, where the further you go out, the more chaos reigns.
Yes, 100%.
Nice, man. And of course, far out reaches are called the Outland, which is awesome. I love that. And we start off in sort of a far off outpost on Perez, which is kind of an unimportant British outpost, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think something's going on with your mic. You know, I'm having trouble hearing you a little bit. It's like kind of muffled.
Oh, sorry
Okay.
about that.
You're back. No, yeah, it's a British outpost that has basically no real strategic value, and it's got nothing. It's got really almost nothing of value except for one little thing that almost nobody knows about, and it's what the pirates in issue 1 are after.
Nice, and that is a spoiler that we can't talk about, right?
Correct.
Okay, and that sort of leads us into our main character, Cyrus Lawson. Tell us about him.
Well, he is a very young guy. He's had a tumultuous upbringing, to say the least. The beauty is, I haven't really gone into his backstory just yet in the series, but I've got it all figured out. But basically, he's settled in this place. He's joined the colony guard there, so he's very heroic in his spirit, but at the same time, he's not looking for a lot of trouble. He's looking to be kind of like a small town cop. But yeah, right from the get-go of issue 1, that little dream of his is ripped right from under him.
So he's kind of one of those characters who has a pretty strong sense of justice, then, right?
Definitely.
Ah, those are my favorite. So then we go to sort of the next main character, and that is Ivory. He's the captain of the pirate ship Hazard.
Yes. I would say he's not super prominent in issue 1, but for the series going forward, I would say that the dynamic of the series, like the heart of the series, is going to be him and Cyrus, because they are very much opposites, but at the same time, like, I'm going for kind of a similar dynamic to what you got with Long John Silver and Jim Hawken in Treasure Island.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
But
That is awesome. Go ahead.
I would say much better, because Ivory he's slicker. He's quick on his feet. He's got a sass mouth.
Yeah, it seems almost, correct me if I'm wrong, but he'd be like a much more hardcore and slightly edgier Han Solo, right?
I would say he's more badass than Han Solo.
Right. Yeah,
Although, that's going to offend people, but
if Han Solo was like Rambo.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, Ivory isn't going to get murdered by his son unceremoniously.
Stop talking about fanfic. We do not discuss fanfic on this channel. That is too funny. So So mainly in this story, Cyrus is mostly going in the first one. Cyrus is mostly going to be dealing with Serpent, with the kind of the dynamic that they do, because Serpent's kind of a con man, right?
Yeah, but I would say he doesn't really deal with him that much in issue 1. Issue 1 is more like, I would say it's kind of a big action-packed exposition to the whole story. It's like a big old clash between him and the pirates.
Nice. And so the comic Outlaw Nights, this is really all about escapism, right?
Yes, I would say
you're not trying to preach to me. You're not trying to tell me how to live my life. You're not trying to tell me what to believe. You are simply just telling me a badass story where I can slip into this universe and forget that real life mostly kind of sucks.
I would say yes, but I would also say I think a lot of the situation in that world kind of reflects it's sort of a reflection of history as well as modern America, as well as where we could possibly be going. But I would say that the messaging is not ham-fisted. It's not meant to propagandize. It's just
Right.
kind of, it's sort of like, the best stories are the ones that are relatable, but at the same time, they don't hit you over the head trying to make you think a certain way. But they do explore dynamics, because I would say that with the characters in this, there's not very many characters that I would describe as like, oh, they're fully evil, or this guy's
Right.
fully good. It's like everybody's kind of a mix,
I like that. That's nice. And so to kind of dig into the politics of how that world is, or that universe is happening, it's kind of like old colonialization, where each outpost, each planet is sort of owned by a country of Earth, right? And
Yes.
they can only control so much the further it goes out.
Oh, definitely. You've got it.
Man, that's beautiful.
I mean, you pinpointed it perfectly. It's the idea that I would say the governments of Earth in the future, which I would say is kind of relates to today, is that they're very authoritarian, they're very tyrannical, but it's that, like the further out you're going from Earth, it's like they're being stretched thin, so they can't get a clamp on all of it.
Right. That makes all the sense in the world. Yeah, no, I am, when I was researching this, I'm super excited for book 1, and the fact that book 2 is right around the corner, I can't wait. And Snuggy thought of a movie idea. Naked Lady Pirates. That's all. Snuggy has some good ideas sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
Have you ever heard of a guy on YouTube who goes into a lot of YouTube chats named Mo Biggs?
I have, yes.
Yeah, every time I go on a stream, he always complains that Outlaw Nights doesn't have enough hot ladies. So I'm adding in more hot ladies as the series goes forward.
And Aldous, if FuseBoxx is a real pirate captain, what's the name of his ship?
Well, I'm going to claim Hazard.
Oh, that's that's cheap, but I get it.
It's
That's kind of a cop out, but it is. Your ship.
I would say Black Pearl, but then I'd get copyright struck by Disney.
This is true. And speaking of the devil, looking at your avatar, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're just a cheap bastard, and you keep wearing the same Halloween costume year over year, right?
I did. I haven't worn it in a few years now, but yeah, I was a big fan of Jack Sparrow as a character. I love the fact that he is that wily trickster, how, most of the pirates, like, Barbossa and them, like, they would use, they use their swords and threatening all the time. His way was always to try to schmooze people, to talk his way out of things.
Right.
I love that. I love that wily trickster character archetype.
That's kind of Cyrus, right?
No, that's more like Serpent, I would say.
That's what I meant, Serpent. Sorry, got my names
No.
confused.
Yeah, Cyrus is headstrong and all about justice, and he hates pirates, but
Right.
he's going to have to learn to get over that because circumstances.
Stop. I'm excited, man. You've got me. You got me hooked. Stop talking about it. Snuggie, yes, we all know Mo. Yeah, Snuggie's kind of a big deal, mostly in his own head, but he always name drops when I'm around, and he's always claiming to know everybody. I think he goes to Hollywood parties. That's my guess about Snuggie.
I've seen Snuggie in some chats. I've seen him. I've seen him around.
I've seen Snuggie get in downright fist fights. So, speaking of fist fights, let's go back to your very first campaign. So, let's talk about starting up that campaign. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but the way that this all works is you kind of need to start before you launch a campaign. You need to kind of run a month or two of hype train to get that campaign hyped up, and then you drop an email list, and that email list is sort of how you gauge interest. Is that all right?
That's the way I've kind of learned to do it, but I feel like in many ways I'm still learning how everybody does it, because I think people do different things. But yeah, was that with that first campaign, I kind of ran forward right out the gate, being like, okay, putting the campaign out there, everybody's going to see it and they're going to love it and all that. And yeah, like not many people saw it, and so we didn't hit our goal. And that was
first one. That goal was that one 2000?
I think that one was kind of probably around like 7,000.
Okay, so I don't understand. I'm very new to how all of this stuff works, so I'm really trying to assimilate your knowledge right now. So when you do the platforms, what does it mean if you don't hit the goal? Like, why does that matter as long as you can still get books out?
Well, that was the thing. I had a fixed goal of about 7,000, which means if it doesn't hit the goal, everybody gets refunded. And the reason I did that was because I needed that money in order to pay the artists and to get everything together and to print it and to ship it. And basically, without that full amount, I wouldn't have been able to complete it, and I wasn't about to take everybody's money and run. So, yeah.
Okay, so when that one didn't work out, that's why you ended up slicing book one into two books.
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna ask about it. So that was the reason we cut it in half, so that we didn't need as much money to get this thing rolling.
Exactly.
Okay. That makes all the sense in the world. So what are the benefits of running on multiple different platforms and stuff?
Well, from what I can see, I've noticed that like Kickstarter kind of has its own pool, its own audience. Indiegogo has its own audience, and then you got Fund My Comic for everybody who hates both of those.
Right.
So that's my thing is I'm like, I want this to get in as many hands as possible. So it's like, I'm going to launch issue 2 on all 3 platforms because I don't want anybody to be left out. Like, I understand everybody's got their different reasons for not liking certain platforms. So I'm making sure we got all of our bases covered.
Okay, okay. So there's no downfall to you, the creator, going to multiple platforms then.
Not that I know of. I could, but basically, yeah, like after my last campaign to try to pre-fund issue 2, we came up short. I decided to go ahead and I took the time and I actually funded the completion of the book myself, so that now we don't have a crazy goal. We got
Right.
like a nice flexible goal, little goal. So, and it's beneficial because it's like right when the campaign ends, I'll be able to get these things out there so people won't have to be waiting months and months for this stuff.
Okay, I got to deal with something here in the chat. Mods, I'm gonna need you to take out Ramen Rockstar. There will be no Snuggie simps on this channel, none whatsoever. Snuggie is my arch nemesis. Look at that. I'm blushing. That's ridiculous. So, from Snuggie, a guy who's been around, good Lord, since well before I was born, and I'm an old man. Yeah, he's saying 7K is tough for a new creator that doesn't have an existing following, coming from something else. And I can
Yeah,
see
I
that.
found
with
that out the
few
hard
things I've
way.
learned. Yeah. Snuggies is my favorite troll. Well, Aldous, you can stay. That's not quite simping. Well, Snugs feeling the love. Whoa, that's just a lie. Snugs is greater than Ass Man? I don't see this. I don't see that. All right, sorry. I just had to take care of a few things down there. All right, so so to make it work the next time, we had to cut it in half. We cut our campaign down, but we already had a better idea of whether or not we were going to make that goal, right?
Yeah, well, the biggest thing was I did a lot of prep work, and that I started hitting more streams talking about it.
Yeah.
I started building up the email list. And I think, 2018, 2019, that was when I did the second campaign for issue 1. And we ended up knocking it out of the park with, a lot of help. And
Right.
and I got the book done. We got it out there. And then I was prepping for issue 2. But, it took I kind of delayed a little too long. I think about 2 years went by. And then when I launched issue 2, I noticed, I think a lot of the folks that backed issue 1 just kind of dropped off the indie comic scene with
happens.
all the fun, stupid little dramas that were unfolding on the internet chased a lot of people away.
Yeah. Well,
So
the good thing is the
yeah.
drama's all done, so we can move on.
Yeah,
So that's the nice thing.
but that's the thing. It's like I feel like in a lot of ways I'm kind of starting from the ground up all over again. Yeah.
Right. And you live and you learn. But man, yeah, it's just like on YouTube. You take breaks and you are starting all over again in that algorithm, and you got to work your way out of that hole.
Yeah.
So when you didn't meet that campaign, we decided, all right, let's cut this book in half. This is kind of when you really it hit you just how incredibly hard and how much work and the grind of this self-promotion, right?
Yes.
And then just like you said, and that's when you were like, all right, so I need to reach out, I need to book myself on these shows, and man, that's a lot of hard work.
Yeah. And that's basically what I'm doing also this year. I'm trying to do the same thing.
Right.
But I've noticed, I think there's a lot of the guys I used to go on stream with, a lot of them aren't doing promotional streams anymore and stuff, so it's been a little more difficult. But I mean,
Well, starting over, because like you said, you take a week off the internet, and you come back, and it's a whole new landscape.
yeah.
Did you understand, like, when you got into this and you said, you know what, I'm going to make a comic, you did some research, you said, all right, cool. I got to go out here, got to promote this, got to, start me a campaign. Did you understand how incredibly slow the process of getting the comic made would be? From
Uh,
from the time you were like, I'm going to do this, to the year or two before that book shows up in the mail.
kind of. Like, I think in a lot of ways I was anticipating it would take a while. I didn't think it would be quite as long as it was, but like just from doing stuff in film, I knew like yeah, like when you're doing this kind of production work, it usually what'll happen is you have to anticipate that you're gonna hit delays, you're gonna hit problems. Like Murphy's Law of Effect is always at it's always at its most powerful, I guess is the best way I'd put that. It's you get the heaviest bleh, you get the most amount of Murphy's Law of Effect when you do something creative, because you're always going to have issues of like, okay, it turns out this person is delayed, so they can't do this for another few weeks. Oh, we're running low on money. We got to do this. Oh, blah, blah, blah. It's like, so that's why, like, whenever I do a campaign, I always try to overestimate the delivery time. Like, I always give myself, like, at least a month of birth, because the goal is to get it out sooner than that. But it's like, I leave it there that way just in case, because there's always some kind of a problem.
Exactly. And I love it when you can look back on, former careers, former things you've done, and you can just see how you were prepared, or how you were able to take a skill that you learned here and add it to the new thing you're doing. I think that's amazing. When people are able to truly look back and see that happening, just like how you learned so much from film that just kind of transferred over.
Oh, definitely. I think in a lot of ways, writing a screenplay and writing like a comic script, even though the formats are different, it's a lot of the same principles.
Yeah.
The only thing is you have to think in terms of like, okay, the pictures aren't moving, so I have to convey what I'm trying to say in still images, you know.
Right. All right. So Aldous is telling Snuggy, if you're feeling a burning sensation, make sure you get that checked out. And come on, Aldous. Snuggy's old hat at this. He understands the game.
Penicillin.
Good advice. Good advice. All right. So that's when you realized, after you cut the book in half and you started reanalyzing your story, that's sort of when it went, because originally it was supposed to be 6 books, right?
I think, yeah, it was going to be somewhere around 6 to 8. And then
Right.
now we're looking at like maybe 10 or more, depending.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That is
Yeah.
awesome. All right. So then COVID slapped you in the face
Yeah.
because you lost an artist and a cartoonist during that.
Well, a lot of that happened. I think that happened before COVID, and that was mostly due to bizarre circumstances. That, yeah, it falls under the Murphy's Law thing. It's that, yeah, my original artist who did half of issue 1 vanished off the face of the earth. Nobody's heard from him. I hope he's okay. And so I scrambled, and Simon Potier, who did Blood Hunt, he was already a backer for issue 1. He
Nice.
volunteered to step up and finish it, and he did a fantastic job. And, even though there's technically 2 art styles in the book, they blend together very well, so it doesn't look like a Frankenstein monster.
Right. Were you able to kind of use your the skills you learned in film school, did you understand that when you got into exactly the way you're doing comics because you're the writer, and did you realize that you were going to have to be essentially the the manager of all this, and you're going to be hiring contractors and overseeing all this stuff? What was that like?
Oh yeah, I knew right off the bat. I was pretty much putting on the director producer hat because it's like, yeah, I'm hiring these guys. They're reading the script and all, but I mean, it's like they're they don't have quite they can't get inside my brain and see exactly what I want. So, and I really enjoy like critiquing and editing. Like I enjoy like when I get a page and it's like, okay, I think this little thing, okay, I need that change to this, that change to that. I kind of get off on the power, but
There's nothing wrong with that. So when you're doing a campaign and you start you send the book in and you start ordering, how do you guess, or how do other people, how do you decide how many extras you're going to get? Like how many extra book ones you're going to get?
Well,
you don't want to be sitting on 2,000 of them in the garage.
oh, I couldn't afford 2,000. But yeah, I just basically I look at what the number of backers I've got by the end of the campaign, and I'll add like 50 to 100 extra on top of that. Just to make it a nice round number and to make sure it's like, okay, I got backup in case either I got to send out like a replacement or if there's like a couple of new backers. And yeah, and I actually ordered a lot more of issue 1 for the second printing for the Second Chance campaign. So I've got a bunch of those ready to go.
Are Second Chance campaigns normal? I really don't know this.
I think they are. I've seen them a few times, especially with some of the bigger creators, where it's like, okay, they had a bunch of folks write to them being like, oh, I really wish I had gotten that issue 1 or issue whatever the previous issue was, and it was like, oh, I didn't get a chance to. So they're like, okay, well, I'll put it back out there, and in a way, like I like the Second Chance campaign better just because it's like all the hard work's done, I'm just basically taking orders.
Right. No, that's that's the best campaign, right? Well, that's cool. So were you kind of surprised that you had so many people that you were able to do that?
What was that?
Were you kind of surprised that you had so many people reaching out that you were able to do that Second Chance campaign?
Well, I personally didn't have a lot of people doing that. I wanted to put out a Second Chance campaign to maybe get some extra funds to do towards issue 2.
Okay, that makes sense.
And also, it was just a good way to try to reach more readers, people who hadn't heard of it before.
Well, I'm glad you did it because that means there's a book for me to get sent to my house. So that's amazing.
Absolutely.
And in that Second Chance campaign, they accidentally printed some 9-page books. How did that happen?
Oh, that was actually for the first campaign.
Oh, okay.
And that was my fault. I didn't understand on the printing website when they were talking about how many sides. I think they meant like, sides of each page. And
right.
My brain interpreted that as like, you mean like sides to like the book? Like how aren't there only like 3 sides to the book or something? Like I didn't know. And so I said like, I guess 9, I don't know. And so they ended up, they printed out incomplete versions of the book. And so I still have those under a table somewhere collecting dust. Yeah. Good times.
Star Wars, then you'll be those will be worth tons of money. That's awesome, man. All right. So that was another question I thought about when I was kind of figuring out how everything had went for you. When people run, so right now you're about to get into launching your second campaign for the second book, or the first game, launching a campaign for your second book, right?
Yes.
And when you do that, if you didn't have any copies left of book one, is it normal to go ahead with that and offer book one and try to get, because, you know, with each campaign, you should be growing, you know, if everything's going right, then you should be growing readers, which means you need more book ones, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, I ordered a bunch of book one for the second chance campaign, knowing that I probably would not run out for the second chance campaign. So that's the thing. I'm gonna offer those also for the issue 2 campaign.
Okay. And are your reprints, are they numbered?
No, but I do know that like I made changes between the printings. I changed the coming soon page at the end of it, as well as I changed the I guess the texture of the outside of the book, because for issue 1, for the first printing of issue 1, I think those were more, I guess, how do I put, like satin cover, and they
Right.
were a little harder, and like I think they were thicker. And issue 2 is more glossy. I mean, the second printing is more glossy. So
Right. And there's, so in comic books, you really only, there's two kinds to order. There is the trade and then the floppies, right?
yeah,
Explain to people that are listening that don't understand the difference, like me.
I honestly don't know the difference that well.
Okay.
I
So I'm assuming the floppies are the, like the ones you would have got back in the day, because nowadays the glossy ones, I mean, they're just really fancy books.
I think when they say trade paperback, I figured that was more like getting I figured that would be more like a compilation, but I could be wrong on that.
Huh. Well, maybe
Yeah, 'cause
Snuggy will tell us if he's.
I know, like, yeah, they talk about floppies. Yeah, it's like that's your typical comic.
Right. That's fold up and put in your back pocket comic, right?
I wouldn't fold it, but yeah.
Well, no, but you know what I'm saying. Back in the '80s movies, that's what they did. All right, so you are right now in the mode of getting ready, starting to stoke the fire on this hype train to get this campaign going for book number 2, and then your X account gets hacked.
Yes.
Dude, what's going on?
So a guy that I followed, who I believe was also a backer at one point, but I can't remember. But I get a message from his account saying, "Oh, I accidentally mass reported your account, and they're threatening to, like, X is threatening me and all that stuff. So could you please contact this person and tell them it was an accident or whatever." Yeah, it was a big old scam.
Oh,
And I fell for it, even though my gut was telling me this feels shady, this feels fishy. I went along anyway, thinking I was like helping somebody out, and yeah, they hacked my account. So I deactivated my account. Then they cloned it. So I ended up earlier in the year, I had made a second account that I was going to use just as a personal account. So I decided, okay, well, this is my new account. And so I've been telling everybody to report my old account. And for some reason, X has not removed them.
dude, that is insane. All right, let's jump in the chat real quick. We got Snugs. Say something, Lollipop. Yeah, Lollipop, believe me, does not get paid to talk.
Oh lordy.
Not around her. We got Elliot Rodriguez in the chat. Hail Elliot. I was on Elliot's channel this morning at 11:30. We had an awesome time. He was asking me all kinds of questions. And you came up there, FuseBoxx, because you're going on his show very soon, right?
I believe I'm going to be hitting his show up in I think in May, but I need to double check because I can't remember if he was the one I scheduled for. I think his is in May.
Okay,
I believe
yes.
so.
Now that you mention it, I believe that is true.
Because I got it written down. Don't worry.
So Snuggy wants to DM you an opportunity from a Nigerian prince.
Is it the Nigerian prince?
I believe it's one of your relatives who is a Nigerian prince.
Is he in exile? Was his throne stolen, usurped by his wicked uncle?
Snuggy, you're just mean. You're just being mean. All right, so we are on the hype train for Outlaw Nights, issue number 2, and you are launching May 1st, right?
Oh yeah.
You are going to be on Kickstarter, Fund My Comics, and Indiegogo.
Yes, very much. I'm hitting all the bases.
But this time, like you had mentioned this earlier, you've prepaid for everything. The book is about 99% done, and essentially all it's going to be is the storefront. So the moment the backers come in and we hit that target, we're just printing the books.
Correct.
Oh man, that is the way to do it. I like that. I mean, if you can.
Oh, definitely. I mean, yeah, because I think that was a big turnoff for a lot of people over the past couple of years was these books that have been delayed, and it's like, oh, I'm waiting a year. I'm not hearing anything. I'm waiting 2 years. It's like, I don't want to be the guy. I don't want to be one of those guys that's making people regret backing a book. It's like, I want to make sure they get it right away.
Right, and oh man, those poor people that got them coming from China, and we just what would we go up to 125% tariffs today, or was that yesterday?
I actually did have a backer. I think from, wait, is Singapore in China?
No,
Okay, never mind.
but it's close enough. It is close enough. So tell me about issue 2. I don't really know anything about it. Tell me everything you can about that story that's going on there.
Well, basically, I can tell you that after the events of issue 1, which I'm not going to expose, Cyrus has ended up on the ship of Hazard as a captive, and he's not particularly pleased. But he's basically he's learning a little bit more about the crew. He's starting to see them not quite as, they're not the mustache twirling villains he thinks they are.
Right.
And they're stopping off at sort of a, I guess you'd call it a service station, but it's a service station that's, not affiliated with any government, so it's seedy and run down, and they're going to be running into some trouble.
Okay. Man, I am so excited. Lollipop Gang, go ahead and get that video ready. All right, so are they moving further into the Outlands, or are they just kind of bouncing back and forth as or how does that work?
Yeah, they've been in the Outlands the whole time. Like, I think, because the Outlands in many ways is my description of just basically all the territories outside of Earth. The inland is Earth itself, and so I would say that they're pretty far out there, but they're not, they're not all the way at the edge. They're just, yeah, like they went to Therese, which was, British occupied, and then they're moving to a service station, which is non-affiliated, aka outlaw territory. And then from there, they're going to be moving on to, well, I can't quite say it, but they're going to be moving on to a criminal organization.
Ah, okay. So Elliot Rodriguez says, "Yeah, man, May sounds good. Whenever you are ready." And man, Elliot's had a bunch of cool people on, and I know he will take you anytime. And it's
I appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, man. Let us go ahead and see how Lollipop Gang did on this, or does. Just, any day now. Good Lord, Lollipop Gang is fired.
Oh no!
Apparently, she hotspots off of her Metro phone. So, no Snuggie. It's not supposed to be choppy. That is actually an amazing video. Sorry.
Hang on, I could share it from my end.
Well, here I got it
it
pulled up real quick. Let me see if my internet does any better. Oh, am I muted? Sure am. That's more like it. Nice. Yes, that was significantly better than what do we got going on? Ramen Rockstar, what are you even talking about? Lollipop Gang's version was better? No, that's not true at all. Dude, that was an awesome trailer. Did who made that trailer?
Do you know? Have you ever heard of the book series called Skits?
No, I haven't.
Well, it's produced by a husband and wife team who they're also filmmakers who got into comics, and I've been on their channel before, and I hired them to cut together both of the trailers for Outlaw Nights issues 1 and 2, because mainly I'm decent when it comes to video editing, but I do not know how to do like camera motion over still images and stuff like that. So they did it for me, and they picked out some awesome music because I really wanted that futuristic kind of hip hop vibe combined with, I guess, kind of an Indian sound.
That was a very unique sound. And is that is that EDM?
Kind of. I think yeah, it was meant to be kind of, urban hip hop mixed with a little bit of that, Indian trance.
Very true. We're taking Lollipop Gang back to Waffle House, where she belongs. Yes, very much an Indian trance. So you're an EDM guy, right?
I like it a good bit, yeah.
So how did you? Because it sounds like you had some good friends growing up, and they were into like rock and metal, and you were like, "Oh, I'm way cooler than you guys. So I'm gonna be into rap and EDM." How does that even happen?
Man, you researched the hell out of me.
I try, man.
Yeah, no, it was like I liked some of the rock that they were playing. I liked a little bit of Linkin Park and stuff, but I don't know. It was too abrasive to me. It was too edgy and dark, and it was like I like that smooth, sexy beat.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know. I couldn't tell you any difference between EDM, techno, electronica, industrial. They are all exactly the same to me.
I mean, that's when I say EDM, I'm probably talking about multiple music styles, and I'm just too boomer.
Okay,
to
so even
understand.
people that are into it don't understand the difference. Hey, that's all I needed to know. It makes me feel a lot better. All right, Snugs is saying that Skits was pretty good. I'll have to check that out. In fact,
Yeah.
Snug could probably just send me a copy.
And I mean, the creators are just like the nicest people on earth.
Cyberstalker is Ass Man's middle name. You might be right, Snug. We don't know. I don't think I've come up with a middle name yet, but Cyberstalker might be it. It might be it. All right, so I've got a handful of some questions that I would really like some answers to. So 5 years ago, you have this incredibly friendly dog who scratches a lady who's jogging as you're walking him.
My God.
Because you let the leash out just a little bit too much. And she kind of made a thing about that. What happened?
Oh
I
my
didn't
God.
get any resolution to this story.
So, no, I mean, well, I'll say Karina did actually nip her a little bit, but she did get kind of offended by it, but at the same time, I think she was like an animal rights lawyer type person, so she didn't want to come after me. I gave her my information, and she never. Yeah, nothing came of it, thank God.
Oh, God. Thank God for that. And then rolling off of animals, you worked at a zoo.
Yeah.
How was that?
I worked in concessions over there, and I mainly started doing it because I wanted to get a chance to work with the otters. And then they told me I needed a biology degree, so I felt screwed over. So I kept working there for a while until I just finally had it.
Yeah, and that was that when you learned that not for profit is very much for profit?
Yes, very much. Like they act like they're an incorporated business, while at the same time, it's like, oh, we're nonprofit. That's basically an excuse to jack up the prices, but
Well, right, and nonprofit just means if there's any profit, we put it towards our wages.
Yeah.
So yes, there will be no profits once that happens.
Oh lordy.
Ramen Rockstar So your dog bit a lawyer. That is pretty fucked. But if they're gonna bite a lawyer, they bit the right one.
Yes.
One that kind of will look bad if they do anything back.
Well, you know, the thing about Karina is she's very adorable, but she knows it, and she knows how to wield it.
Those are the most dangerous ones. Should have told him you directed. We bought a zoo. Well, actually, what is the timeline of you working there and Tiger King?
Oh Lord, I think I quit. Wait, no. Tiger King, I think came
Tiger
out.
King was like right when COVID happened. It was perfect timing.
Okay, so
Like IOP.
I had just left the zoo right around that time.
Okay, so when you were sitting at the house watching Tiger King, you were feeling all those people's pain.
Well, the thing that amazed me was that I think about 3 or 4 months after I quit the zoo, the jaguar got loose at the zoo and ended up killing like 4 alpacas and killing a fox and injuring a couple of other animals. And this was like early in the morning. And the main thing I thought about was, I'm like, knowing me, I would have been walking through on my way to the place I had to check into, and I would have run into that thing, and he would have mauled me.
Oh man, did you guys ever radio rated in Minecraft? No, the zoos in Minecraft are much, much safer. One day, Raiden, I will bring you onto my server, and I will show you an incredible zoo. So, did you guys ever accidentally release a whole ton of monkeys?
No. But I'll tell you, there was one time when there was an orangutan there that, you know, they'd give him a T-shirt, you know, to wear for fun, but they kept, you know, each time they gave him a T-shirt, the T-shirt would kind of go missing. Turns out he was collecting the T-shirts. He tied them all into a rope, and he ended up climbing out of the enclosure using the rope. So he was planning an escape. And that's like amazing to me that there was so much forethought put into that.
Dude, that stuff is so cool. That is so cool. Ramen Rockstar says, "Don't hate on the South and the monkey dramas." Yeah, so in South Carolina last year, there was a lab that was doing some kind of studies. They lost something like 20, 30 monkeys out in the woods, and they're still out there. I think they got 2 back so far.
Oh, God.
So there's this small town in South Carolina where they have to keep telling people, don't collect a monkey if you see it, because they're not pets.
So there's wild monkeys now in
Yes.
South Carolina.
Yes, it's like goddamn Jurassic Park. They will never learn. They will never learn.
See, but that's the best kind, though. Now we have native monkeys in America.
No, native monkeys is not the best kind.
It's the way
Cave
it should
monkeys
be.
is the best time. So, as a writer, you believe story is king, right? Did I lose you? Oh, man. Well, that's no good. We lost our guest. Oh, here we go. And he's back.
Sorry about that.
I thought I was going to be allowed to talk.
Yeah, you get back to where you belong.
She can talk.
Nah, you don't want to hear it. Believe me, you do not want to hear it. Radio Raiden, that was going to be my next option, because I will sing some Les Mis before we allow Lollipop to talk. Oh, you're welcome, Snuggie. She hooked you up.
Lordy.
So you think that story is king, right? That's kind of your
100.
ethos.
Yes. Like, that's my thing when I play video games. Like, I didn't like older games where there was no story because I'm like, do you know Seinfeld?
Yeah.
My favorite quote from George Costanza was he said, "Story is the foundation of all entertainment. You must have a good story because otherwise it's just masturbation."
Man, that is so true. That is so true. Well, Seinfeld's actually a really good example of good character building, you know?
Definitely. And especially since the whole premise of the show is it's about nothing.
Right. Because it's one of those things where in my opinion, if you build great characters, because you know how it is, they'll pitch a show, and some shows are excellent, right? And the original creative team planned a 3-series arc, and then they get greenlit for season 5, 6, and 7, and a whole new team of writers come in, and usually they don't know how to do math, and all of the sudden that 4th and 5th season, it's really just the character building that was already done that carries them through stories that are shit, and we don't recognize it for a few seasons, you know?
That could explain why I get so annoyed when I watch TV shows, usually around like season 6 or 7.
Right.
Because
I mean, that's what happens.
that makes so much sense because like I've always found that like yeah, it's like I tend to like shows the most during the first 4 seasons, and then usually once it hits 5 or 6, it starts plateauing to me or it starts dipping.
Right. Well, it's, I think one of the best examples of great character writing that the characters carry shit stories in later seasons is probably Archer.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, that is hands down some of the greatest characters you will ever find. And man, there's whole seasons where they didn't write a single good episode, but you loved every single minute of it. Like, you didn't realize it was shit until hindsight.
Yeah, I think for me, I really the season where Archer started losing me was 6.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I think once and definitely when they got into Archer Dreamland, I was like, nope.
Yeah, that's pretty true. So Snuggie says, correction. They tell them not to spank the monkeys. That is also true. That is also true. Ramen Rockstar, Ass Man, the monkey spankers. Well, we all have our lot in life. Snuggie's making friends in the chat. That's not good. That's not good when Snuggie has friends. So yeah, and you are basically now 100% a binge watcher. You are done with watching stuff unless you can binge it, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, that's I have pretty well. In fact, we got so bad because we dropped cable, like, I think Netflix was only out for about 6 months streaming, and we dropped cable. So we're on like 14 years, 15 years or better. I don't even know. No cable. And man, it got to the point where I wouldn't even look. I wouldn't even look at something if there was only one season. Like, I need at least 3 seasons in the can before I'm even willing to binge this thing.
I would agree, except like I've noticed there are a few shows where they do like just one and done kind of season thing.
Yeah.
Like that's what they did with The Penguin. And I really loved that. I loved that miniseries. It blew my mind.
Well, they're kind of forcing James Gunn into booting that back up, aren't they?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, I don't know that either. I just heard the internet's people talking about how it was such a runaway hit and such a big thing, but it didn't fit into James Gunn's new DCU. And there was a lot of people speculating that the DCU or DC was basically going to force him to do it because it made money, and so few things actually do these days.
Well, I mean that could be a good idea, but I mean the problem is with James Gunn, you know, he wants to inject humor into everything, and it's like I liked the way I liked how dark that Batman story was.
Yeah, and I think there's a time and a place, and I think there's a season. When Guardians of the Galaxy came out, that was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean that's because it was a new style for that science fiction-y kind of space opera-y thing that he had going on, and it was awesome. But then, unfortunately, between Gunn style and Whedon style, they mashed those two together, and it became Marvel style. And then every movie was just conveyor belted out.
Yes, like I have mixed feelings about Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah,
Because one, I thought it was kind of a fun idea to do a comedy style Thor movie,
yes,
but I didn't want that to become the new norm, and it really did.
right. That became every single Marvel movie.
Yeah, and plus, and in hindsight, it's like if they're gonna do a comedy of Thor, don't make it the movie about the apocalypse of Asgard. Which is like the big culminating build up. Like they started setting that up in Age of Ultron. When Thor has that vision of like, you know, Heimdall telling him you're leading us to hell and all that. Like they were making it scary and kind of ominous and dark. And then the payoff is just kind of a wacky space adventure. Like,
yes, and that brings us full circle back to Star Wars. You were amazingly not getting on the hype train of The Mandalorian. You chose from the beginning that you were not going to watch, even though you were into binging things, and you knew Disney was going to be releasing this. You knew everyone was excited, and you stood your ground and said, "No, Disney Star Wars sucks. This is going to suck. I don't care what you guys say, and I'm not going to watch it." Are you still holding true to that today?
absolutely. I have not watched anything Disney has produced for Star Wars since The Last Jedi, because to me that story just took such a hatchet to the original trilogy that it's like I don't care what you try to do, like, because I knew like, yeah, you're going to focus on side stories or stuff in the past and all that. It's like it doesn't matter. You've already taken the original main character who was the heart of the story and you ruined him. You can try to distract me all you want, but you ruined it. Like the only way I would ever get back into it is if a miracle happened and they sold it and they were like, okay, we're decanonizing everything that Disney did.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
Oh, I know. Like that's the only caveat I would give them. Like, but yeah, no. Like I know that they're sticking to this. Like I'm impressed by Disney's complete stubborn will when it comes to this stuff. Like they get a ton of backlash for the dumb choices they make, but they're like, you know what? We're sticking to it. We're gonna ride this thing all the way into the ground. We don't care what you say. We're gonna double down. We're gonna triple down. You know, like.
In fact, if you hate this, hold my fucking beer. Do I got something you're gonna hate even more? That is crazy.
You gotta admire that kind of dedication, you know?
You gotta admire that absolutely nobody gives a shit when you're throwing away hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, good Lord, I look over receipts to make sure I didn't double scan that penny candy. Snuggie, you remember what I'm talking about. Snuggie's old like me. He remembers. So, one last thing, and I don't know if this has changed in your life because it was a few years ago, but you've never experienced northern weather.
That has technically changed because back in February, we had a freak snowstorm that came into New Orleans, and it was amazing. Like we had like 9-10 feet of snow. So yes, I have now experienced it. It just I didn't go to the north for it. The north came to me.
Yeah, that was a weird one. We had we had snow one day, and I think a week later the air conditioner broke, and I had to fix it.
Yeah.
You know how that goes down there.
Oh yeah. Weather's totally bipolar here.
All right, Ben, tell everyone where they can find you.
Well, you can find me here on YouTube under my channel FuseBoxx, where I do my show FuseBoxx Engaged. You can find me on Twitter at FuseBoxx7. You can find me on Instagram at Outlaw Nights. And you can find me on Facebook under my real name, Ben Fuselier, Fuselier.
Nice. And keep a watch out because in fact they need to sign up. Where's your sign up list for your email?
Oh, let me pull that up really quick. I should have probably put that out there. It's like the
in the
link
private chat.
Yeah, the link keeps being weird. It's like some days I'm able to copy it and then some days it won't copy for some reason. It's because they hate Outlaw Nights and they desperately want to destroy it.
It's probably Star Wars because they know you're putting out something better.
Well, I'll tell you what Star Wars did that really made me mad was when they did a certain video game called Star Wars Outlaws right around the time of Outlaw Nights. You don't think I see what you're doing, Disney?
That is funny. All right. Boom, in the chat. Go to the Indiegogo, sign up, get everything ready. This is happening. I'm excited. I mean, shoot, I'm excited because very soon I'm going to get book number 1. And then in a month, I get to order book number 2. And that is going to be amazing. And I'm going to love it. And, well, that's it. So everyone can find me. This weekend, I'll be on Neon Tardis's channel on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I help those guys do a little commentary on, well, let's be honest. At this point in time, it's just Disney Star Wars and Snow White. And, you know, in like 2 or 3 months, something else will happen, and a bunch of old guys will complain about something else. But, you know, we have a little bit of fun there. We hang out. That's a good time. And next week, ouch. Next week, I will have Odin on, and we are going to be talking about Elysian Fields. And Odin just recently hit his campaign, and we're going to see if we can't get him to go over the top a little bit, see how far we can push that number. And next month, we're going to be trying to help you do the same, Ben.
Well, thank you so much, sir.
You are very welcome. Hail to the chat. Appreciate everybody showing up. I appreciate all the lurkers. Appreciate the people watching us at home. Peace out.